audio checks real quick. You know the deal. And yeah, we'll get right into this. Let me get my mic actually. I got a mic up here. And yeah, we got a mic up. But yeah, hopefully everyone is well today. And let's click has like a magnet on it. You just put it in your shirt. The DJI Osmo man. Reliable. But yeah, the topic is let's talk about spirituality. That's this is a very general topic here that we can get into many different subjects around it. So if you're someone that has any interest around spirituality, go ahead and leave a comment down below, any questions you may have. I mean, if you're a debater, throw some debates in there too, might as well, right? Um, but yeah, we've been having to navigate different changes, and I think that life is full of change, and to navigate change is something that is always interesting. To be able to know that in the midst of change that you can be still and keep calm and have inner balance is the most important thing, because everything changes. Like one of the things, especially with um I mean, if you want to be the director of your life, right? And you're someone that is looking to live on the verge of, uh, I call it the verge of death and life, right? It's like when you're someone that locks in and like is looking to create change in their life, it's like things are constantly dying and things are constantly coming to the surface. Things are always renewing and decaying. So it's important to stay with the process and to trust it, right? Because a lot of people like to back out of whatever they're in or whatever processes that they're in. So never back down from a process that you're in, especially if it's something that you feel like is meant for you, right? Um, if it's not meant for you, obviously that's another topic of conversation, right? If something's not for you and you feel the need to back out of something, that's another thing. But if something is meant for you, it's good to stand your ground in that, despite, things can be chaotic sometimes. Um, Things can be unknown. So, that's the most important thing to understand. So, also recently too, I think meditation has been a very um, key essential thing to seeing change. I think without knowing or having a sensitivity to what's around you, without having a sensitivity to the whisperings of your intuition and your gut feeling, you know, th- it's hard to make a change, right? When you don't have the whisperings of your inner knowing coming or rising to the surface. And when you don't have those whisperings, like obviously you can be more chaotic and impulsive, and impulsivity leads to decay, you know, being impulsive leads to decay. And, that's not fun, right? That's not fun to experience a decay of your being. So, like, don't be impulsive, stay still, you know, and keep inner silence. I think that's the most important thing. Interior silence is an experience that goes beyond the physical realm, and that's also one of my goals spiritually, too, is to keep interior silence. It's one thing to be silent on the outside, right? As in your room is quiet, as in like you know, p- everything around you is quiet, you're all alone and isolated. That's one thing, you know, but it doesn't necessarily mean that your thoughts are quiet. It doesn't mean that your feelings are under control. It doesn't mean um that you'll show a level of yeah, stillness around external things. because you could still react externally or be creeped out at the fact that everything's quiet around you, right? But things are meant to be still. Things are meant to be still, and I think things are meant to be in that mode. Let me see. But let's see. But yeah, like one thing, yeah, interior silence is one thing, and an aspect of also spirituality. Because I mean, what's the point of even practicing if you're not moving towards an aim of harmony and stillness? I mean, I don't know what other people's aims are in terms of why they would want to be involved in such things, but it's everyone's different, right? Um, some people who want to make money from it. Some people want to, you know, you can make art from deep spiritual experience. You can make many different great things, many different great things. And I mean, it's the core of our being. The unseen is the core of our being. And you have to focus on what you can't see. That's another realm right there. Focusing on what you can't see. Um, I remember there's a verse that had wisdom in it where it was saying, do not focus on what is seen, but focus on what is unseen, because what is seen is temporal and what is unseen is eternal. So there's a song here that maybe I'll share with you. It's actually called Eternal. This is what this reminds me of. So let me go ahead and pull it up here for you guys to watch. Eternal is the name, and we're gonna play the song here. And this is a very crucial song. I think I always listen to the song, and I've been in many moments that are like this. That feel like this. I like epic music, by the way. Eternal. Let me see. Um, it's by VG Dragon. Who it's by. So give me 1 second to pull this second. All right. Ready to see. Oh, we got Mika from Slovenia. Hello, friend. Just want to say hi. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, looks like you're saying looks like you're just stopping by, man. So cool. Good to see you. Good to see you, man. And we're about to play some epic music. We're about to play some epic music, man. So about to play Eternal. That's what it's called. So let's get into it, man. Let me see. This is how things feel like, though, man. I'm not gonna lie. The song. Let me see. So let me share my screen. Here we go. How much for the earbuds? Like $80 US dollars. But yeah, this is how things feel like. we'll play the song till after the drop, and then I'll respond to your guys' comments right here. I see a bunch coming in, but 1 second. Yeah, so that's heroic music, that's what's needed, right? Where even in the smallest levels, even when people don't like you're saying, yeah, feels good. Yeah, no, it's a feel good song for sure. Like it's a rising song, if you will. EJ, let me know if you're still in the chat. I can respond to your comment there. Um, let me know if you're still in the chat. But Tanner says you're welcome for the likes, I guess. Well, thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let me know if you're still in the chat. But let me see. I know when it's all noise, exactly. It gives you that rising feel, even like when stuff is noisy, because things will get noisy. Like it doesn't matter where you're at. Noise is noise in the sense of like something may happen in your job, and then it's like it gets you to start thinking more, and you're like, oh fuck, like what I got to do now, and now I got to go do this. I mean, that's noise, right? That's a static, right? That's you're in motion because it's like you're responding to different things, but to rise above it all, and to take a moment to see like how you're actually like doing the thing, and that's a heroic thing, and I think we can always find heroism in the smallest moments in our lives. Um, because sometimes we don't want to rise, right? Sometimes we don't feel the need to rise but also, I mean, it's also like it paints a broader picture of like how looking beyond our current circumstance, like there's more to it, that there's a great beyond, there's a great void that is we're always looking into. And yeah, it's important to pay attention to that very thing, like so yeah, yeah. Yeah, work, huh? It's I mean, shoot, yeah, it's very noisy a lot of times. And are you always around a lot of people when you work, or are you always do you always try to find quiet spots in your workplace? Because also, like, yeah, depending on your job, it's like you're always either around people, or people are, like like they have to report to you, or they are just in your midst, and that's more noise. And the thing about noise though is that like noise is either a good thing or a bad thing, right? I mean, I think of it in terms of also like photography or video too. Like your image is meant to be clean, right? And like when you take a video, you want it to be clean. But when there's too much of light, like for example, there's a lot of light coming in right here, but if there's too much of it, it starts to get staticky, and it's what we call noise, because there's an overload of light going into that particular sector, so when you also talk about noise or noisy, it's like there's too much of one thing in one area, and like because there's too much of that one thing in one area, it's breaking the image, if you will, or it's removing the clean look that's already there. And usually we want our lives to be clean and smooth, right? But if there's too much noise, in a video instance, what do? Well, in the video instance, you go in the shadows. One thing you can do is lower the shadows a bit, try to balance out that. But usually when something's noisy, it's kind of like you'd have to completely get new footage, for the most part. But there's small things that you can do to adjust, different aspects of your video. Or you just have to bring down the light, right? Or turn down the exposure, things like that. So turn down the exposure, if you know what I mean, like get away from the exposure, turn it down a bit. because noise is either a good thing or a bad thing. Like I always look at my camera stuff and I'm just like, I don't like noise in my image sometimes. But some people are just okay with it. They're like, oh yeah, I like the noise, like the grainy kind of look. Um, but yeah, that's cool, man. You're out and about doing your thing. So it's let me see. Yeah, that's part of it, man. Just like you're always having to sort through noise, and noise, you can either expand on noise, right? Too. It's like when things get noisy around you too. It's you're let me yeah, when noise is too much around you, it's like you kind of have to get in your zone. You know, if you know Jay-Z, right? That one song with Kanye, Jay-Z, even though they're maybe not the most. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about their character. I'm not going to comment. But they're like, "You're now watching the throne. Don't let me get in my zone. Don't let me get in my zone." And but they introduced in their song, like a noise, like that. At first, you can hear it's a very hard beat. It's the song's called "Niggas in Paris," and it's like um there's a build up towards the end where it's like there's a hard beat and drum, and after the hard beat and drum, then it starts to turn into static and noise, and then the static and noise turns into these angelic voices, which sounds like a hallway or a path, and then they're like, you're now watching the throne. Don't let me get in my zone. You know, the stars in the building. You know, so, so it's kind of like the noise also helps elevate sometimes too, right? And it gives that contrast of like something clean versus something disruptive, and noise can be used for many different things. I'll say it like that too. So, you know, but yeah, finding the center, because I think Teresa of Avila is a saint that had very good quotes around stillness and solitude and quiet. So let me look up some quotes from her that I can share with you guys. But I remember watching on YouTube like a whole list of quotes that she had on inner stillness, which were like very touching, and they were quite deep, if you will. So let me see if I can find a list here. Let me see. So let nothing disturb you, let nothing frighten you. God alone suffices, and prayer is nothing else than being on terms of friendship with God. Let me see. That's crazy. But yeah, she had a depth of wisdom and knowing that was like quite interesting, I would say, that I look at. Um, Let me see. Because yeah, she did emphasize on stillness and silence and prayer. When you get into that silent mode, it's quite interesting. Let me see. When I'm listening to epic music, I'm starting to cry because the situation in the world right now, especially Gaza. Oh, everything, man. Everything is fucked. Let me tell you something that which might be crucial actually, and I mean this like um see, I'm in an argument. See, TSV1B says gave me a rose and says 888. Yeah, awesome, man. Cool, cool. Thank you. You know, thank you. But let me see. No, because what you have to understand too right now is happening in the world. Like this is actually crucial. Like I don't think people like the world's falling apart and like the world's falling apart and no one cares. Like nobody cares about the world falling apart. And I mean like everything's falling apart. Like And yeah, we're just all watching it fall. I mean, what else are we gonna like? Who's gonna do something, right? Who has the power to do something? But I'll tell you this though. Here's one thing um, that I will say that is coming out for me in the next few days or so is that I will be starting a campaign for the victims in the Los Angeles fire. You know, this is a starting point here. So I'm starting a campaign. Some friends and I, we had gotten footage of the fires before we got footage before the fires happened, and that also was another situation where there's a lot of people that are homeless. A lot of people lost their homes, and in the LA area, it completely changed the landscape of Los Angeles. And the government tried to, at least in the Altadena area, you know, the government tried to seize some land, but I think they blocked some of the land grabs that were trying to happen. But I got some, yeah, you know, I'm gonna put out some videos soon and start a campaign, and then we'll start there. And then once we start there, you know, maybe we can look at those places too. But it's gonna be big, and you know, hopefully you guys can stay tuned to that. And you know, like we're because the whole symbology behind it too, in the video that I'm gonna put out, you know, is you know, the whole symbology behind it is the fire, right? We're all going through the fire right now, and you know, the fires are have a heavy impact. The symbology of a fire and people going through fire right now and judgment and things like that is the main the main thing. And the fires that happened in Los Angeles was a microcosm of a macrocosm, you know. And and also, let me describe too how the fires came about in Los Angeles to kind of give an overall archetypical story, you know, from a microcosm to a macrocosm, you know. And my friend had a story around it too, and this is how he experienced the fire, where one moment, you know, he's kind of getting premonitions. He was like, something's gonna happen soon. Like, I don't know, I feel like something might happen. And even people around, I remember even my someone that I knew was like, um, they're having a feeling that like if could a fire happen right now? Like the air feels kind of like they felt like the air was kind of dry, and they're like, "Shoot, can a fire? Like I think a fire might happen right now, but I don't know." Like they were kind of like iffy on it, but they weren't trusting their gut, you know. And next thing you know, just out of nowhere, the fires just blow out. The fires just increase. Like fires come out of nowhere. Everyone's just having to evacuate, grab all their belongings as quick as they can, you know. And like they had to like just grab everything and like just go. So you know, as soon as they grabbed everything and went, you know, like they had to leave all their stuff behind. Like all their stuff kind of got burned in the fire. And, you know, it was quite tragic, you know, and they couldn't even look back. That's the thing. Like as soon as the fire happened, like they couldn't look back, and they had to get out and find a hotel room to stay in or find family to stay with. And everything was messed up. And you know, everyone is in shock. Everyone was like, "What? Like, how did this even happen? Like, it doesn't make sense." There's no grasping around the concept of it, you know, and you know, everyone's just in shock, and they lost a lot of things. Some people died. So, you know, this is a again, this is the microcosm of a macrocosm. Right now, we're all sensing like, "Fuck, something might happen." You know, the world might fall apart right now, and you know, we're left just kind of waiting for something to happen now. And you know, that's the thing, is just like, you know, who's going to do something about it? You know, that's the thing. You know, again, like I have you know, we're starting something to, you know, because we got to delay the stuff, you know. I don't know who, it could be planned, it could be unplanned, this entire thing. But the reality is like, you know, again, what's happening over there, I'm not picking a side, by the way. I mean, I'm just going to say it straight up, like I'm not picking a side. Killing is killing, like bottom line. And you know, like killing is killing, destruction is destruction. Like why are we pick I wouldn't pick a side right now. I'm not trying to pick a side. It's just like someone has to do something to bring the balance, right? Because that's a mediator is needed in the midst of this, is my point. You know, okay, these you can side with this side or you can side with that side, but someone needs to mediate this, right? Someone needs to like get in the middle of it, and I think that either way, like, yeah, someone has to be in the middle of it to stop it. Like, if you side with one person, it starts the other side gets agitated and will attack stronger, right? We talk about warfare, we talk about like different concepts. It's like that warfare is real, and spiritual warfare is real and heavy right now. So, it is even me, like I'm wanting to start to cry sometimes too. I'm like, this is insane how where we're at. This is insane. So, but yeah, that epic music. Someone's gotta be a hero, right? Someone's gotta be willing to step up, do something about it. So you better hope that you better hope that someone does something about it because nobody is really thinking about it too much. Again, looking at the microcosm of the fire and how it started, everyone's getting premonitions that something's gonna happen. I mean, maybe you're someone too that's like, fuck, I could see this not ending well. Or you could feel in the air like, oh shoot, yeah, things are gonna fall apart pretty soon. Pretty soon. So, it's like, yeah, you gotta it's too many innocent lives being gone, too many innocent lives being wasted for the sake of war. And yeah, who's gonna do something about it? I mean, that is where we're at, and again, I got some stuff that we can put out. And I mean, money is one of the solutions, right? Money is one of the solutions. And you know like really, money is one of the solutions. um so we've got to we've got to clear the swamp, right? That's what has to go on. Drain the swamp, as they say. So yeah, that's one epic song that I feel like I resonate with. And let me see if I can find another one too. um but let me see. Oh, the king has very so I'll share another one too that's pretty prophetic. It's called The King. Let me see. um let me see. There's a lot of bits right here from this album. um let me see. I'm trying to pick my favorite one, but it's called The King. And then the Nicholas Britell, has a is the composer of it. So this one's called Descent. So this is exactly what's going on right now. The descent is occurring. The descent, if you will. And we are descending. We are descending into something. And someone says on TikTok, "Hi, what's up?" The smiley. Oh yeah, what's up? Sorry, I'm like looking at your name from a distance here. No, what's up? What's up? The smiley face. Yeah, yeah. And now we're about to share some epic music. So let me see. You said, did you forget about me? No, it's just like I have bad vision. I'm looking at the screen from kind of far away. I'm just like, what is that? You know? But let me see. Yeah, we're about to play some. We're all descending. I'll take a moment. Yeah, so there you go. We're all descending into the pit here. That's what's happening. Oh my god, we don't even know it. That's the craziest part. I mean, now you do. Now you do, um but then this is the call to action, right? So this is the next song in the album. Um this is the next song right here. And let me go and share this real quick. So there you go. Here's the next song in the album. This is the next step. So there you go. Those are the some of the stages that are on the forefront. Some of the stages that are on the forefront. And so, there's that rush and that sense of urgency to take action despite the midst of the chaotic things that are going on. That's what's needed now more than ever. And there's no looking back. Like there's no, you have to press forward because many different things on the forefront that are kind of, I would say, kind of consuming is a word, or they're starting to take place and become a set reality, and that's kind of how we have to see things, right? Like things are constantly becoming and then becoming set realities and then deconstructing and then forming again. Um, and some construction that's taking place is obviously the technological world and different laws around that, as well as like again some of the wars, and the world leaders are making big moves right now that we can feel. Like we as people aren't stupid. Like we can feel that they're making big plays and that they're looking to plan stuff behind our back. Um, it doesn't matter who people hate certain presidents, and totally fine, but you're wasting your energy hating someone that you don't even know personally. And I think that everyone has to take their own personal action and their own personal responsibility. It's called the locus of control, if you will. It's called you have to learn to control what you can control and put aside what you can't control. So I can't control that the president of such and such country is going to do this. But what I can control is how I am doing this right here, and doing this here, and doing this here. That's all I can really do. And once you start to do that, though, it's as a paradox, you start to gain more control. But for people to not focus on what they can control and to waste energy complaining and going into fits and tantrums about what someone else is doing, that is a tactic from an enemy that they would impose on you so that you can lose power. So anybody that is well off, you know, it doesn't matter if you're a complainer or not, they already got what they need. That's what you have to understand. So if you can level the playing field though and get something for yourself and become well off, well, that's another position to be in versus you don't have anything and you're looking to complain. So we have to obtain something that is either your gift, your spiritual gift, or whatever it could be. Maybe you're in a position to obtain more wealth or obtain more connections or obtain something, right? So get something for yourself, right? That's part of what, especially that song where you're navigating through the chaos. Get something for yourself. Go out and get that, and like fuck all the whatever's going on the outside. Like it's not gonna help. It's not gonna help you take steps forward in all of this chaos and all of this disruption. And maybe you can actually do something about this. This because this is exactly it's chaos. It's crazy. So actually do something about it, right? And if you want to, right? It's another thing. Like you can always be on the back lines, but to be on the front line of it is it's another thing. You got to be out. You got to be careful, right? You got to be careful if you're actually trying to do something about that on the front line. And it's something else. This world is something else. You can't really. You got to be smart about how you. Even if you're going to do something about that in the correct manner, you got to be smart about it, right? So it's something else. Censorship is a real thing, and that's exactly just what I have to say today. I mean, let me know if you guys have any other comments or questions. This is a little bit of a shorter live stream today, but if there's any comments, I'd love to expand on it and we could go more in depth as well. But yeah, I gotta let me see. I still have a little bit of time. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any comments or whatnot. But that's just short and simple. It's just how it is right now. It's just it's just how it is. So so yeah, man, the world lacks empathy. The world lacks empathy, and no one cares. It's almost over with. Almost over with. So it's got to gather ourselves, center ourselves, find something that is eternal. Find something that is sustainable, right? Especially with the ongoing changes. Some people put their trust in crypto. Some people put their trust in, their skills, abilities, which is obviously a good thing to put your trust in too. Some people put their trust in other people and what they can do for them. So choose wisely, right? Choose wisely is the saying here. And, I wonder, yeah, you got to keep that wisdom, and an opening to that consistently, no matter what. So yeah, it's crazy out here. But also, here's another opportunity too. Again, this is something that I'm working on and building here. We got the Expanded Minds community, and this is a thing that I'm starting, a system that I'm creating where everyone, it's a win-win situation where we're building. First off, the number one principle is building the church, as in we are tithing money to different organizations, monasteries or people that are enlightened, helping them as well. So, any money that I earn from that, it's given, to the people that are like that. Always make sure I tithe. And also, there's a giveaway at every single month, for people that want to, just a giveaway, just as a appreciation and gratitude. And also like, we also train as well. We meditate, practice our spiritual abilities, things like that. And you're around a community of people too that are disciplined as well and are looking to grow. and seek clarity in the midst of this. So that's one initiative also that I have too, as well as again we got the other, we got some stuff coming soon to do some, yeah, to help people in the Los Angeles area. But that's one initiative if people want to start out. I also have I have starting ground tier, which is like $1 a month. It's like there's nothing really, but it's something that you can do to just at least hop in the Discord, private Discord, and it's yeah, it's like we're building a community here. Although on the starting tier, you don't get access to the giveaway because the people that pay more, obviously, you know, that's for them, the people that are serious about it. So that's that, and then we got, what do you call it? We got the grand entry, which is our theme song, by the way. Like whenever you, whenever you think of Expanded Minds Community, this is the theme song behind it, and then we'll go ahead and play the music. But this is how we make an entrance, right? So it's a good way to make an entry. But yeah, you can check out the song right there. Oh wait, that's not the song. This one. Um, Let me see. So that is the grand entry right there. And you know what it feels like too? I think it almost feels like whoever does something about what's going on, especially talk about the Gaza situation, it almost seems like they have to be a Batman kind of figure, like someone that's actually like kind of like a villain but isn't. That's just my 2 cents on it too. Where it's like no one's doing like very few initiatives have actually been, I would say, effective in stopping what's going on. So it almost seems like someone has to be like a Batman or like you know, like a villain in a way, but also like righteous, which is also what this song kind of captures too, by the way, in this part. You know, this is what has to be done. This is the energy that has to be put into it, right? So that is the place I would say that it's. So there you go. That's the grand entry, and yeah. But then what comes after? Once we get through that, is this right here. So yeah, that's how we're moving. That's how we're moving. There you go. I just summed it up right there. So yeah, all right. Thank you guys for tuning in today's live stream. You know, and we'll see you guys on the next one. So